Hello YouTube, B3 here back with another kicking action figure review. And today's review is over a neat little figure, one many of you have seen, I'm sure. It is the Godzilla 2000 Fusion variant from the Bandai Creations line. Yeah, a little while back Bandai Creations decided to try these things called Fusion variants, which look sort of like theater exclusive figures from Japan, where they're kind of a clear color sorta with sparkles in them. And honestly, it didn't work out well for the line. I think it would have if they handled it better, but I honestly feel like the line was handled poorly because half of them that were made were Godzillas, and they never really brought anything unique to each Godzilla sculpt. Because there was a 68, a 2000, and a 95, and 95 was awful. The 68 was pretty much the same as this one. You know, just stuff. But the fusion variants that were regular monsters that weren't Godzilla, like the Mecha Godzilla, the Rainbow Mothra, and the Gigan, were all actually really cool figures, and I love those fusions, and I'll probably keep them in my collection for a very long time. But yeah, so here he is, the Godzilla 2000 Fusion variant. I skipped out on him when he came out, but I found him for 15 bucks at a comic shop recently and figured, what the hey, I'm not missing a lot of Bandai Creations 6 inches. I might as well grab this guy. And not disappointed in my purchase since I got him for that price. I've seen him online for around 20-25 bucks, depending on what you're going to get for shipping. And it's just not fair. Especially when this figure really already exists. Because, once again, he is just a variant of the regular Godzilla 2000 from Bandai Creations, which is their best sculpt, which really goes well for this figure, but at the same time, it's one everyone probably already, has. Especially since that regular version has been reissued several times. But now onto this figure himself. Dark purple spines. Very glad they gave him dark purple instead of light pink. There is a reissue of the regular version that has light pink spines, but the dark purple looks so much better. Very cool. Having clear purple spines would have been neat too, but I actually think the dark purple works well with the kind of gray body they have going on here. So yeah, this is my favorite Fusion Godzilla figure. Not my favorite clear Godzilla figure, because I have some theater exclusives and stuff, but, there's that. And lots of great detail, and the paint's pretty clean on this guy as well, as you can see here on the head and claws and etc. But, the plastic's real soft, which is fine. That's part of the translucency, I suppose. It's soft plastic, and the sparkles look nice and stuff. But the thing about the Fusion figures is they've all lost articulation. Yeah, all of the Fusion figures have 1 point less articulation than the regular versions, it seems, because the regular Godzilla 2000 has articulation here on the tail, and this one does not. However, he did maintain his articulation on the arms and on the legs, so that's fine. But yeah, he's a nice sculpt and all, it's just nothing really stands out about the figure. That's the only real problem. Whereas, the Fusion Mecha Godzilla was almost black color, so if you didn't want to pay a lot for a black Mecha Godzilla figure, then you could use that as a substitute. The Fusion Gigan was very beautiful color, and the Fusion Rainbow Mothra is an absolutely wonderful figure. Even if you have the regular Bandai Creations Rainbow Mothra, I highly suggest getting the Fusion Rainbow Mothra. But, yeah, just sort of average, I guess, compared to, what we've got in the line. But, yeah, now that's over, how about some size comparisons? So here's our Fusion Godzilla 2000 with two other Bandai Creations figures. Here on the left we have the Fusion Mecha Godzilla I mentioned earlier, and here on the right, the recent 2014 Godzilla. Yes, and I'm happy to announce that Bandai Creations will be making 2016 and 2018 Godzilla figures for the new Japanese and new American movie. So that is going to be great, and they said they're going to be making more figures and stuff now, because the popularity of Godzilla has sort of returned. So, yeah, it's very great. So buy figures. Then they'll really want more. They'll want to make more. Which, I think Godzilla 2000 scales up well with these guys. He is kind of a hunched over sculpt, which is fine though. And I am just totally fine with him and other Bandai Creations figures. Now he uses some super articulated kaiju figures. Here on the left we have the N.E.C.A. Burning Godzilla, and here on the right we have the SH Monster Arts Gamera from Gamera 2. Now, I think Godzilla is fine with both of these guys. The bulks and stuff are different because, you know, with super articulation, bulk does kind of change. I'd say the best Godzilla to scale up well with your NECA and Monster Arts would be the Monster Arts Godzilla 2000. There are two different versions of him right now, regular and special color version. So, you know, if you want to save up for those guys instead of this guy, that makes sense because he's super articulated and will go better with these. But just size-wise, you know, sitting in a display, this works fine. I think they look good together. Now here's our Fusion Godzilla with some other vinyl figures. These from Japan. Here on the left, we got the Toys Dream Project Titanosaurus, and here on the right, the Ultra Hero Series Ultraman Noah. Yeah, so I think Godzilla looks just fine with both these guys. Maybe, because the Ultraman does look kind of tall, but you gotta remember, this Godzilla is hunched over. So, you know, I think that is fine. You might want to put him with Ultra Axe, because they can crouch down and, you know, grapple him and stuff, but, you know, the Titanosaurus I think looks fine and everything. I think this guy scales well with your other 6-inch figures. Obviously, he's not going to scale up well with Pacific Rim or, you know, other 7-inch figures and higher, and he's not going to scale well with really small Gashapon figures like this Kiryu here. So all in all, what are my final thoughts on the Fusion Godzilla 2000 figure from Bandai Creations? Honestly, cool figure. If I had to pick one of the 3 Fusion Godzillas to have, I would pick 2000 because I think the dark purple on his spines works well with the gray body, and, you know, when you have all 3, they're not that great. Order of greatest to least, I would put Godzilla 2000, Godzilla 68, and then Godzilla 1995, because the Burning Godzilla Fusion had such potential. It could have easily been the best one, but they really screwed it up. Really screwed up the Burning Godzilla. The 68's a little creepy looking. And this guy, I think he's the best looking out of the 3. And he has one of the best sculpts that Bandai Creations has ever put out, if not the best sculpt that Bandai Creations has ever put out. So all in all, I'm going to give this guy 3 out of 5 stars. There's not really anything quote-unquote wrong with him. I wish he still had his tail articulation, not that you can really do much with that articulation joint anyways. But he's only got 4 joints, and I guess they're in the main parts that need to move, but whatever. So, you know, still pretty cool, just could be better. I'd really just like them to make more new figures. How about release the Mecha King Ghidorah or 55 Anguirus, which I really, really want. Maybe that little Godzilla that they teased recently. They say that they're probably going to try to make more classic kaiju. They said that. I read it recently. Just because I read it doesn't make it true. But, you know, it was from a source, from an interview with a Bandai Creations representative, from a good source too. So, you know, I trust that we'll get at least one, but don't count on it. They said we're definitely getting a new Rodan, Ghidorah, and Mothra, assuming that those are all going to be from the next American Godzilla movie, obviously, and they're going to do the 2016 Godzilla. But, you know, for the 2018 Godzilla, just expect a reissue of this guy, probably. Which is fine, actually. That's fine. That's fine. Because he was just a single release anyways. And he was a little harder to find. But, unless you have a Toys R Us near you, I guess. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, follow me back on Twitter. Lots of good reviews coming your way. And lots of great stuff going on the other channels. Got Slender Happenings, Super Friends Benefits, and B3 Productions. Lots of good stuff going on those channels as well. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. As I said before, thank you all so much for your support, and I'll see you all later.